Hey, it's Monday. Ooh, I've had an excellent weekend too. It's wonderful to start a week on a high note. Hey, it's Cheryl Anderson here for my Monday Live, which has been a bit of a scramble because I thought today was Sunday. My partner was away for the weekend. I had a great weekend. I had family and friends around, and we had roast pork and lots to drink, and it was just a wonderful night. But it was very relaxed today too, so it kind of felt a bit Sunday-ish. And anyway, it's not. It's Monday, so here I am. a little bit out of whack. But anyway, so today, you know what I'm going to talk about today? It's something that it didn't really become apparent to me until probably about 3 years ago, and I did a HCG diet. And now HCG is human gonadotropin, something. HCG is what is released in a woman's system when she falls pregnant, right? So any pregnancy test, the little packs you get from the chemist, what they're doing is that test is looking for the HCG in your bloodstream, in your system. So that's how it knows. Anyway, it was an Italian doctor back in the 60s who was doing research on actually obese teenagers when they're going into puberty, at how to, because their bodies don't go into puberty properly, or I'm not sure of the wording exactly, but anyway. But in the process of all the research he was doing, he actually found that HCG in the system, what it does for women is it unlocks all of the fat stores. So saddlebags, muffin top, back fat, arm fat, you name it, all of it gets unlocked like that when you're pregnant, all right? That's so the fetus can feed at any time that it wants. It's also, I remember years ago hearing that even if a woman was starving, like I think it was back when Africa became, when we started to really see how devastating a lot of Africa was. I mean, I'm talking 40 years ago. I was always astounded to learn that a woman can carry full term because the fetus will feed off. Hello, I don't know who's in here. I can't make the screen go back. The fetus needs to feed all the time, so it will keep feeding. And what will happen is you will have, well, depending how much food there is, a healthy baby. However, the mother her system will be strained, and the child will have lived off what sustenance it could get from the mother. So, hi Lois, I can see it now. So what happens is the HCG unlocks it up, so it starts running around in your bloodstream. This diet is very limited, I might add. It's 500 calories a day. It is strict. It's difficult. Yes, Lois knows. She's done it too. It wasn't simple, but man, it gets rid of the fat. Anyway, it wasn't until I did this. And look, if you do want some information, happily I'll send it to you. It's not an issue at all. So just shoot me an instant message. Now, from that, I started to really look at my body. What was it saying to me? What language was it using to try to tell me whether I was doing positive things or negative things by way of what I'm eating? And what I realized was there's 3 different things to feeling bleh, all right? There's inflammation, bloating, and just being absolutely full from what you've eaten, all right? Now, these 3 things they will make you feel full and fat. And I used to feel just sometimes like, oh, it was so... Anyway, what it is inflammation, which is when you're eating foods that are having an extreme negative effect on your system. Same as if a celiac were to eat wheat. Their body would have an inflammatory reaction. And a bit more than that. I mean, they get really quite sick. But I'm talking regular people just eating just what we think is, well, a lot of people think from Woolies on the shelves at Woolies is okay. So inflammation in the body, say for me, I found out that I'd actually gotten to a point my body was a little, I think, annoyed. I found out that onion and garlic, which are my two faves, were having an extreme negative reaction in my body. And I would I would bloat, but I would inflame. I would be the size of 9 months pregnant. It was huge. And that was because I started off, a friend of mine put me onto the FODMAP, FODMAP, foods. And it's basically, to paraphrase, it's about the diet for people that have irritable bowel or, anything that sort of thing around in the gut, right? From about here down, right? And I had a look at it and I thought, wow, okay, there's good foods, there's bad foods. And they say that there's no one way for everybody. However, when I first looked at these FODMAP foods, the two things at the top of the list that were in bold print were onion and garlic, two that can really set people off. So when I cut it out, plus a few other things, I noticed that my standing weight, what I was all the time, my size, just started to get smaller. And then I thought, right, oh my God. Most of my life, what's happened is I've not been fat, or what I just used to think, oh, I'm just fat, I'm fat. It's such a go-to word, isn't it? That in truth, what was happening was my body was going through inflammation, which is everything inside of you gets inflamed and angry and big and swollen. Now, I know that some of you go, oh my God, I felt that. Where you just feel it's like, I don't know, your insides are too big for the casing. So then I started to think about this for a little while and thought, now look, I know there's diet advice everywhere. I must have read reams of don't eat this, do eat that. This is a good food for that. This, you get selenium out of this. You can have chromium out of that. I think I was more looking at the items of food that I was eating as opposed to what is my body doing with those items of food that I'm eating. And it started to become clear to me last year in October, November, I decided to kick sugar, which really wasn't that hard, I must say. It was pretty easy. So got rid of sugar, and I've in the meantime gotten rid of dairy and wheat, all right, for reasons mainly just because, you know what, I want to live to over 100. So in order to do that, I need to be healthier. Even though I'm pretty darn healthy now, but as food gets more rubbish, there's a lot more rubbish, you really have to be a bit more aware of that, as much as this body can go through a lot and deal with a lot, it also actually doesn't like food-like substances. It wants food with nutrients and with beneficial aspects to it, not just the joy of eating, the placebo of eating. Now, in giving up those items, man, did my body go, the swelling went down like in my, under my rib cage. It's always felt fat and full, and it's gone. I don't have that. Now, all I've done is just cut them out. I still continue to eat, and sometimes I eat too much, or I eat chips, plain chips, just plain salted chips. I try not to eat them much, but I don't have many things yet that I can still have a treat. Not that I want too many treats. However, so I noticed that there was one, inflammation. That once I started cutting out the foods that were creating this ongoing, because it just stayed inflamed. So I stayed bulked. And then I realized, okay, so there's inflammation and then there's bloating. So if you're eating something regularly, it's not necessarily, it's sort of like your body it's not having a big problem on a large scale, but it just doesn't like it when it has it in your stomach. And it just, once you've gotten rid of it and it's gone, then the bloating goes with it, okay? Now, I know that if I eat like fried foods, bread, when I was eating bread, I'd bloat big in an instant. But that would go away once it had gone through my system and left, which left me thinking, oh, inflammation is the one that's there all the time from whatever foods are creating inflammation. Bear in mind, 97% of disease and illness on the planet right now is linked to inflammation of our bodies, our systems. And, you know, I don't even know the full story on it. Maybe it inflames our brain too, and we just get a bit kooky because there's a connection between the brain and the gut, and it's called the vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S, I did a video on this. So yes, there is a link between what you eat to how well you feel. Back to my story though. So there was inflammation, there was bloating, and then there was just being full when you've eaten enough, like per volume, that you feel full. So here's me. I was eating things that were creating inflammation, they were creating bloating, and I was getting full. So, I mean, how the hell I didn't explode sometimes, I don't know. But once I could logicize this and I understood, right, okay, I'm dealing with 3 different things in my body. So once I addressed them in that, you know, that I thought, okay, the FODMAP, F-O-D-M-A-P, I mean, you know, it stands for much bigger word, I can't remember now. I started to feel a lot better because you can move better. Your joints aren't as, you know, you can do this without feeling, there's, you know, a bit of like water retention, like stiffness. Well, inflammation, that's what it is. You can feel it. Your body will function better without the inflammation because all your organs go back to a regular size. They're not stressing, so they can do their job properly. So which means you can move around and your body is just doing what it's meant to do. Then when you can pinpoint the foods that are bloating you, and for me, I just thought, I just need to know so I don't eat them. If I've gone out in, you know, an outfit that fits all nice, then I don't want to be eating something that is going to make me bigger than my outfit. When someone says, are you out of that outfit trying to get in, or are you in that outfit trying to get out? So I wanted to speak about that today because I think there's a lot of women like me where we don't think, we're thinking about the food itself, or, you know, sometimes we're not even thinking about it. We've got other jobs to do. If you've got kids or work, or, you know, there's so many things. But if you for a moment go, oh my God, okay, because you can get a lot into, if you're looking to lose weight, I think you really have to look at this. Because you might start cutting down calories in here and there and there and here, but you're still eating foods that your body doesn't like. And it's nothing personal. It's not to be offended or get annoyed. Oh, why can't I eat this? I like this. No one's taking anything away. In fact, I can now eat garlic and onion and not have an effect. So it's obviously your body's got to get to a point where it can just, the inflammation can go down and it goes back to functioning how it should. Because it's a very, very clever machine. But we feed it all manner of crazy shit sometimes, really. Do you know? I mean, anyway, back to what I was saying. So I would just suggest to you to have a look at your diet. Go check out the FODMAP. You can look at it at Google and you'll get a whole list of things you can eat, things you can't, and just go through it and find out whether you can or you can't. And if you're going to be like me, you'll be able to go back to these foods once you can get the inflammation under control. And then there you go. And most times, and I've got to say, I've done nothing but cut those foods out. I mean, I will have, like Aldi has an organic chocolate. I only like it because it says organic, so you think it's better, right? And they're only thin. So sometimes I bust out and I'll have one of them, like the entire bar. Not in one go, but pretty quick. But other than that, no. I just cut it all out. I thought, well, you know, that's fine. But in that time, I've lost 7 kilos without doing anything special, just cutting those foods out, which really wasn't that hard when I thought I'm doing this for me. So, you know, I mean, the size went down, the weight went down, and it was a really positive outcome, I thought. And that's why I wanted to speak about it, because as much as for women, we don't want to have to think about weight, and some of us are tortured by it, some of us don't think about it, some have had to put up with it their whole life, which would just be hideous. So I really think this is something, it's a good platform to start with, because you can start putting more things in, like, oh, I'll have green smoothies, or I'll do this and that. Well, they're not going to do a whole lot if your body is in a state of it's going backwards instead of forwards. So I would address certain foods and see which ones you need to just remove from your diet. And you just have to be a big girl or a big boy and go, all right, I can't have it, or I choose not to have it. Hello, Debbie. Happy anniversary. And what happens is you find that the weight is it's so much easier to control, because like for me, I thought, right, I know what it is that I'm eating that's doing this. So I could monitor it so much easier, and the effects were really fast. Like I said, once inflammation goes down, you're moving around, knees don't hurt, joints don't hurt, you sleep better. It's an amazing thing. So for this wonderful Monday, the 11th, I hope this information, hey darling, has been of use. And like I said, you need any more information, shoot me an instant message and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. So until then, thank you for coming in today. And look, I've kept it to 16 and a half minutes instead of 30. Alrighty then, take care, and I'll be back on Friday, 1 p.m. Brisbane time, and I look forward to seeing you then. Alrighty, take care everybody. Bye for now.